All right, what's up, y'all? So this is the 89 GT drop. Still got the stock hood on it. The Coyote swap is officially complete on it. This one has a Gen 3 2019 pull-out GT motor, 5.0 of course. Has a T56 Magnum from Summit Racing. We went with the center force dual clutch. And what else? This one, obviously, you see it's still sporting 4-lug. So, still a project, still going on, but got the Hydro Boost on there, so it does have power brakes. Let's go on the inside. So inside, we do have the custom Rocknchop pedals. If you haven't caught that, you can check it out on my channel. There's videos on how to explain to put the Hydro Boost and do the pedal modification to get everything working. We do have the AutoMeter Invision gauge cluster. So that's a really nice upgrade. Then we also got the T56. So a lot of people that do the swaps, they put the fuse box under the hood, or they'll put it inside of the fender, which I've done both. I've done numerous Coyote swaps, and I think this is the best place to put it, is inside of the glove compartment. And now this piece usually has this black piece. I'm gonna show you here. So this is usually in there. I just unscrewed it, see, in the past, and that's from doing a lot of Coyote swaps. I would usually cut this thing up to make it where that can fit. I see a lot of people, they'll run it and would just make it where it's just sitting in there, but I don't like the extra stress that puts on the wiring that's going through the side of the dashboard. And then right here, I know some of y'all probably wondering what this is. This is part of the Fathead Garage AC kit, which this one does have an AC kit that I put together, but I still used his wiring kit. And that makes it basically where, it makes it work like a new car, where if you hit the gas and you're going full throttle, it will cut off your fan, cut off your AC clutch. It basically cuts your AC system off. And that just, man, that's like definitely a step up. You know what I mean? From doing stuff, from just hooking it up and having to worry about your AC compressor spinning at 7,000 RPMs. But let me go ahead and start it up. So we can check out this Invision Pro. Oh, that's the wrong keys. And this swap does start from the key. And that in the background that you hear whining, that's the Volvo pump. Not sure if you can hear it on the audio, but let's get this thing started up. This thing still needs a tune. I do have the that's how you see it. We could check out, it does have different gauge clusters. I'm gonna go here. Now, display. That's display 3. Oh, it stays. Display 4. I think this one's my favorite one. And that's where we started at. So you see it has 4 different ones, 4 different options you could choose from. There's not really very, I mean, it gives you everything that, you know, like Dakota Digital, all the other ones give you. So I think Dakota Digital is just a little further along because you can add more stuff to it, but this does have a 6-pin connector where I expect that they'll be adding stuff in the future that you can probably add, like boost, and it's running off a certain firmware, so I'm pretty sure there'll be a way to probably update the firmware. They'll probably put more screens. Who knows how they'll do it? But yeah, I had to cut the car off because it was just, you know, we're running straight out the headers, and I don't want to kill my neighbors too much. I just moved over here, so I don't know if people are cool or not. Let's check under the hood. So we are able to fit everything under the factory hood. Step back and just try to get the sun out you guys' eye, but as you can see, everything in there nice and tight. On my swaps, I always run the overflow tank that comes with the motor. Like you see, like with a Gen 3 or a Gen 2, they always have a 21 PSI cap, and a Gen 1 has a 16 PSI cap. That's, in my opinion, all that's important because that's how the motor's designed to run from the factory. So always make sure to run that. On this particular swap, I decided to keep the PCM on the inside. A lot of people run it to the bottom, which you can run it to the bottom. I don't know why I thought I wouldn't have enough room with the AC, but that's neither here nor there. But the reason why I did this is because I have ran it to the bottom. I've ran it to the outside of the fender to hide it. I personally don't like, on Gen 3s especially, the connector doesn't reach comfortably. It stretches, and I don't like having it stretch to reach the PCM. I don't want issues in the future with wires pulling out of their pins or nothing funny like that. So that's the reason why I run that right there. And then you can see I have my custom AC kit that I put together. If you guys been following the page for a while or following the channel, Instagram, whatever, this motor is actually out of my white drop that I had, and this was the same AC kit I put in there that I made myself. And I say they're not available, but people really want me to do them. I could do them, but I just think it's better to run the AC through Fathead. That's what I use, Fathead's AC electrical kit on mine. So, but his is a lot nicer, in my opinion. It runs into the fender. I like his a lot better on the swaps I've done. So that's part of the reason why I was like, I'll do them, but in my opinion, it's more advantageous to get the Fathead garage one. And then you see we're running, we got heater, everything. We are running on this one. He doesn't plan on going supercharged at all or anything in the future, so it just has a 340 pump. Custom braided lines all the way to the back. Got the Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator set at 65, and then it usually goes down to 58 once the vacuum kicks in. And then we got the stock air intake. I was actually kind of nervous. You can see on the hood, it did kind of put a dent here, which is unfortunate because this, you know, this thing was pretty clean, but it fits. I was worried about it actually fitting, but it does fit. I did have to trim up. You can see where I kind of cut to make the air box fit so it goes lower, and kept the windshield wipers. Now it does kind of rub here a little bit, but it's there, it's functional. If I leave it up to the owner, if he wants to cut this and just leave the cap, me personally, I would just leave it like that. But if he wants it to be cleaner where it's not touching this, I just kind of leave stuff up to the owner. And then back here, we got the hydro boost, and I did have to re-clock the windshield wiper motors, turn it ever so slightly. You can even still kind of see the holes back there. That was the only way I was going to get it to fit with the hydro boost and these connectors. I even got the banjo fittings, and it was just nothing you could really do. I had to clock the windshield wiper motor, and it does work. It works fine. And it was funny, man, this particular car, they had the electrical fans wired up to for power from the windshield wipers, and they probably damn almost burnt down the car, honestly. I'm surprised that nothing really happened, but lucky Kane got it swapped. I took care of it. I cleaned up all of the wiper harness that got burnt up, redid fresh wires, everything, so it's fresh, ready to go. Now I'll let you guys check out on the underside. So it does have a Maximum Motorsports. I put the bump steer kit on, and you see right here, I just recently got a swap. There's literally no reason to run a oil, I don't know why I can't think of it, an oil relocation kit on a Fox body. They fit. And even with the Maximum Motorsports kit for the sway bar, you just get the brackets from a 96 to 04, and you get the end links from the 96 to 04, and it works. The stock Fox sway bar works perfect. So there's something to think about. The exhaust isn't hooked up on this one. The owner of the car said that he will get the exhaust done himself. So that's why it's really nothing too much back there. And you see, we are on the 4-lug, and it stops all right. It definitely doesn't feel as good as like the way I set up the brakes. We always run 5-lug. You can see my car out there. 5-lug with the Cobra brakes and Cobra brakes in the back. Steel braided lines. This one has 4-lug, 1-piston caliper with rubber lines. So it kind of threw me off when I was trying to bleed it and get the brakes right. It felt squishy, and I guess that's just inherited of having stock rubber brake lines and old calipers. I don't know, but it's definitely not as responsive. But they work. They actually work nice. It sounds like I'm bashing them, but they do work nice, surprisingly. So still a nice swap. You can ride this around. I wouldn't go too fast though. Not with the 4-lug brakes, man, and just, you know, 205 tires. It's just this is a nice swap, but it's still got some ways to go. But then right here, you see with the AC system, every time I put in AC myself, I always, you know, I vacuum out the system. I do everything correctly, make sure to check for leaks, leave it under vacuum overnight, make sure it doesn't leak, and then I come back and I fill up the AC as much as I can. The thing about filling up an AC system with just the cans, you'll never be able to get as much in there as it's supposed to get, or as the machine can put up in there. So I'll just put enough in there to verify that it works. And it does blow cold, but not cold like if you go get it filled up professionally with the big machine, which I plan on getting a big machine here very soon, hopefully. Very soon. That's that. Oh, and one last thing I just noticed. So right here, I do have the fuse or circuit breaker for the power steering. It's kind of hard to see, but that's where, right down below that, that's where the Volvo power steering pump is. And that's how we're getting, you know, power brakes and power steering. So, yeah. Nice swap, man. I like this swap a lot. All right, we'll come come back with 2 hands on that one. Then you can see we did get wheel wells, covers under there. This car does have subframe connectors. It's not the full length subframe connectors like I like, but I mean, something's better than nothing. You know what I mean? So you still see we got the exhaust hanging. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I guess I'll start it up one more time and just let you guys hear from the outside. I don't know if the audio gonna catch it like how it is in person. I know it's not gonna catch it like it is. But yeah, so definitely a nice build, man. You know, low mileage car. Trying to think what else am I missing. Man, I mean, that's pretty much it. Oh, the brake, the back. Let me show you guys what I did in the back. Trunk style. I know some people like, hold on. Where is the battery? The battery is in the trunk. So always run the Moroso box. He did have some beating here. I took all the wiring from the front, ran it to the back. I didn't want to just throw his wiring away, so I twisted it up for him, ran it to here. Always run a circuit breaker. And that's, you know, always do that because it's another cutoff point. You can basically have a cutoff switch. It cuts off all power to the battery. And then here, that's one thing I got to, glad I did this, but here you can see that's where you get hit in the back. That's the fuel pump cutoff switch. I always hook that up with my swaps. So yeah, it's a nice swap. So let's get this last start up. Appreciate everybody that stopped by. Definitely more videos to come. Yeah, man, Gen 3. Barking in the front yard.